Good morning, welcome back. Today we are in Washington State and we are heading out onto the Devil's Backbone. So this is going to be a bit of a high altitude adventure ride. This is the kind of stuff I really love. Never know what you're going to get yourself into. And yeah, so we'll see how this all plays out. We start off about 6,500 feet of elevation, and I'm not sure what the exact number is, but I think we get up and cruise along between 7 and 8 mostly here. So yeah, it's going to be an out and back. It is not a loop. Getting a nice early start, trying to beat some of the heat. And yeah, we'll see what ensues. Shorts in the tire, baby. That one was low. So far, this has been quite a bit of machine built, which was certainly not what I was expecting at all. Way out here in the middle of almost nowhere. I also ran into Ben, who is one of the locals around here, on his dirt bike, and he's out here cleaning things up a little bit. So that low hanger that I just had to duck under, he'll probably take care of that because he's just behind me a little ways dealing with a different one. So nice to see the moto guys out maintaining, keeping these things awesome for all of the rest of us, as this is a multi-use. And there we are. There's some of the backbone right over there. All right, should be good. chunky. And lots of extra creaks on my bike after all the dust and dirt and grime from the last few days. So I'm thinking that's going to be in the shop soon. Get a little tune-up. Pretty wow, pretty wow. Okay, that's a little brutal. Look at that. This is why she's a black moto trail. All right, you probably don't want to see this. I'm gonna turn you off. Pretty spectacular. Pretty spectacular. Bam. Pretty amazing.
Pretty cool spot, eh?
Pretty awesome.
And you're out here the right time of day.
Well, yeah, I have to get an early start for sure.
Yeah, so I came through here 3 weeks ago. I think I was the first or second person through the hole coming the other direction. I came up Pot Peak and then came through, and this guy was sitting here and it was all sloughed off on the downhill edge. And so I spent about a half an hour trying to find the bigger rocks and stack in there so I could get around it and finish my loop out.
Yeah.
But yeah. Bit of a rock.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get that out of there. and let the climbing begin again. So we just finished helping Ben rebuild a section of the trail there and get that massive rock off of it. Oh, and this is brutal. This is a hole. All right. You won't want to watch this, so I'm going to turn you off. But yeah, look at those amazing, amazing views. Just crazy in here. So awesome. Probably hard to tell in the video how loose this is. So part of that is obviously the terrain and the soil type, all the rock, gravel, and what have you. Ooh, tree. And but of course also because it's a moto trail. So they tend to tear it up a bit. Okay, a lot, not a bit. But this is part of the backcountry experience. And we're taking it on the chin. Most of this area appears to be all old burn, which is not surprising because that's what we're dealing with here, is just super dry, hot conditions. Can't take the hands off the wheel. Smoke's not too bad. We do have a fire close by, and just on the kind of north side of Lake Chelan. Oh, that's a bad corner. And so yeah, so there's a bit of smoke we're dealing with, but it's pretty light. So happy about that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. Don't want to compromise the lungs too much. Ben was telling me about the hole, as the moto guys call it, and I'm guessing that's what we're heading into right now, is the hole. Oh, there's some chunky. Long ways down, and probably gonna have to go back up a long ways. Definitely some decent exposure here in several sections, so I'm playing it pretty darn cool. Oh. Not knowing the trail. And as I say it, there you go, look at that, so loose, just lost it. Prop. All right. Of course, I had to say something and spoil it, didn't I? Oh yeah. All right. Whew. Maybe we should take a break for a second. Collect ourselves. Ben was telling me about the corners and how the moto guys were changing the line. And this is a pretty obvious spot for that, where they've cut a good 15 feet from where the corner was. And guys are trying to get up and around tighter bend. Quite interesting. But that's what happens. This is going to be a slog getting out of here, that's for sure. Unfortunately, this trail is an out and back, if I didn't already mention that. It is not a, well, for me, sorry, it can be a round trip, but because I'm camped up at the trailhead, and basically everything descends from there, the only way to get back is to pedal back. Well, I'm not pedaling 30 miles to get back. That's too much. Yeah, because they're chewing up the corners like that. Yeah, makes it hard for me. Like, yeah, mountain bike trail, this wouldn't be such a big deal because all this loose stuff would be gone. And you'd be able to, you know, push wide, maybe do a little bit of a nose pivot. But they're so, excuse me, so loose. Let's try that again. They're so loose and blowing out and with big chunks. Again, you probably can't tell, but, you know, that's the size of football. A couple of pieces, maybe a little smaller, but yeah. So when you're trying to maneuver through that on a corner with exposure, not happening. Should be able to see some of the backbone in there in the video footage, hopefully. It's pretty amazing view. This is an absolutely brutal trail, however. Significant amount of fairly big exposure, and with all these loose rocks and gnarly bits, definitely makes it harder than you would think. Gotta play it really safe. Definitely don't want to get hurt out here. And there's a totally blown out dust bowl. So this is what we do. We play it safe, right? This is backcountry riding. You don't want to overcook something, get hurt. I am riding solo today. Yes, people know where I am, but only by name. They've never been here. So if I was really seriously hurt, it could be a bit problematic. I am wearing the big backpack today, of course. A ton of water, lots of food, several supplies for making repairs. All of that kind of good stuff. First aid kit. Because it's backcountry. And there's another one. There's no way I'm making that corner when you sink 4 inches into this gravel. Crazy. But fun at the same time. Maybe you can get a little bit of an idea. I don't know if you can see that in the shot or not. Very steep. Scree slope, and we do, what do we do? 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 corners through this to drop. That's got to be 500 feet, 400 feet, 500 feet. So it's a long ways down. You don't want to fall off of this. And if you've ever ridden in a gravel pit, you'll understand. Super difficult. Always shifting. All right. I might be walking some of the lower stuff. That was the easier part. Some of the stuff down further here, I'm just not sure about. And there we go. Can't do that corner. Just powder. It's so loose. Moon dust. Thought I might be able to take that inside track, but no way. No way. Real world. No Remy Metallier. Yeah, this is gnar. Super gnar. Walking. Not ashamed to admit it. Walking. Check in a minute. Some of those boulders are nearly as big as your bike. It's just not worth it to even try. Yeah, like there's a big one sticking up. Bigger than a football for sure, that one. Thought maybe a derailleur smasher there, but we got through it. Holy. All right. If I recall, that was the worst of it. So hopefully I can ride this. God, even downhill it's hard to hold the line. It's just so loose. Moving around underneath you. All right. I did clean up a few rocks on my way through. Try and make it a little more doable. Oh, sorry, dab. Oh. That is tough. Whew. Brutal. And that's probably all, because now we got to climb out of this hole if my pedal doesn't totally bail on us. Oh yeah, super technical. Big step ups, loose terrain, not happening. I will check in a bit. I can see some big billowing smoke from the Chelan fire in the distance, so yeah, she's active. You can see my ridiculous climb I have ahead of me, probably in the video there. Trail going straight up after I go straight down. Oh, to have a gasoline engine. And let the sufferfest begin. This will be some hikey bike again, and yeah, already I'm into this gravel. Okay, bye-bye. Alright, you're not noticing as much talking because there's a lot of concentration going on here. The clouds and smoke have started to roll in, so I'm pushing my luck, I guess, on timing for this one. I think the clouds are just temporary and not supposed to actually rain, but I'm glad I got as much of the trail done before the smoke rolled in as I did, because that definitely is not fun when you're coughing up a lung. A little smoother, a little less chunk, a little more manageable. Sure does sound crunchy, doesn't it? Oh, come on. Oh. And no. And here's the junction. All right, so that was all of the black Devil's Backbone. So now this is the bluer section. And that's why we have tough wall casings on our tires. I do not run Cushcore, just because backcountry especially, I need to be able to fix it. Whereas Cushcore I can't do in the bush. Yeah, higher likelihood of a puncture, but also a much higher likelihood of actually being able to fix it. So, choice is yours. That's my choice. Woohoo! Right in the rocks. So this should be bringing us pretty close to the end here. And yeah, that was an experience for sure. Would I do it again? Probably a hard no. It was good in spots. It certainly had very interesting topography and some feature-ish things along the way were pretty cool. But all in all, it's basically like 5 hours of riding in a gravel pit, or a quarry, I should say a quarry, because the rocks came in many different sizes and shapes. Extremely rough, chunky, yeah, just so hard to get traction anywhere. Super loose because of the motos, of course. It's blowing out in certain places. Yeah, just it's a sufferfest. Let's just say it's a sufferfest. Glad I did it. Just not really looking to do it again. Five-mile trail. And Lake Creek. And then get rid of the stick. There we go. Oh yeah, look at the smoke from the fire. Wow. Okay. And now descending back to the trailhead, where all this started. There we are. Home sweet home, temporary. Mount Baker in the distance. Nice. But not nice enough to do twice. All right. Thanks for coming along. My pedal made it through somehow. Amazing. I guess the next stop is try and find a bike shop and get that pedal either fixed or replaced. Probably a replace. All right, over and out. Thanks for joining. Hopefully it wasn't too painful for you, because it was a sufferfest for me. Cheers. Keep the rubber side down. Have a good one.